All right. Welcome, everybody. And I'm already staring at myself, looking at what I don't want to look at.
We'll address it later.
Yes, we got it. Anyway, welcome to the very first Outside the Box video podcast. Right now, we're not sure whether we're going to be on video or podcast, but we're just going to go with it and see how it goes. I am Oz. This is, of course...
I'm Pee-wee, a.k.a. Kevin.
Yeah, he already screwed up.
I got to reversed it, but whatever. I'm so used to being called Pee-wee that never mind. It's all right.
I'm going to call you Pee-wee a couple times,
That's
I'm sure.
Fine. But I'm Kevin.
It's Kevin.
So.
And don't call him Kevin. Or call him Pee-wee. Okay. Anyway, This is our first video.
Yeah.
Very first. We do not know what the hell we're doing.
No.
As a matter of fact, we just figured out how to do this about 20 minutes ago before we went and got beer.
Yeah, it's been like an hour and a half project just to get this going. So
hopefully the sounds good. We got a brand new microphone, which is really cool.
It's very
made
classy.
Me an excuse to go buy another microphone and whatnot. So we've got that, and we've got some other shit. If something's not right, something don't sound right, go down the thing there and tell us what's wrong. Let us know. We'll figure it out. Or even tell us how to do it. I don't know. We don't know this. Yeah. We work on cars. So bear with us on that. Like I said, your input is welcome on it, and we'll learn. We do not do this. We work on cars, and we figured that maybe we could give some knowledge to you guys. Which brings us into the premise of this whole thing, where we want to take what we're reading on the forums, bring it in here, make it a little easier for you guys. Say you want to figure out what roof racks fit, or what did you say earlier?
Roof racks. Lug pattern,
4x100, yes, that whatnot.
Et cetera.
We get those questions on there, and everybody gets tired of them. And I know that there's guys out there that don't know the answer, but you can't scroll for fucking 3 days to find it. So hopefully you guys can go, oh, you know what? You need to look on here, and you can see it because these idiots actually got something right. So with that being said, that's what we're going to do. We're going to also hopefully take away some of the misinformation because there is a lot of misinformation out there. That's not to say that I know everything. I don't know shit about tilty wheels. I can tell you how to put you on the ground or whatnot. But as far as some of the other stuff, wheel offset, I don't know. But that's not to say that we aren't going to have people on here that do. And hopefully that'll happen. What else are we going to do here, Pee-wee? Gossip?
Yeah.
Gossip would be good.
Gossip, what people are doing.
Because what is the forums without some kind of gossip?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like post what you're doing.
Yeah. So
stuff.
We'll just skip over gossip.
Basically, we're just putting the forum on a podcast.
Yes.
I feel like what we're going for here.
Trying. So another thing we want to bring up is lifestyle. The stuff you're sitting around with a beer in your hand.
Right.
Sitting there drinking beer in the garage.
If you're 21.
Or whatever it is in your state. Or country, for that matter.
Yeah, because it's international.
But things like car shows. My buddy Pee-wee just got back from Camp and Drag. Which I was there, but I left early because it rained and it sucked this year. So I left. But
we met a couple from, where were they from? Dallas?
Houston, I believe.
Houston.
Yeah, it's really cool, and that's why we want to bring up the shows because they're, even with us, the show thing's kind of interesting with a lot of it because there's not a whole lot of import shows that roll around. Yeah, Grid Life. I'm sorry, I've never been to a Grid Life. I'd like to check it out, but for us, most of the time it's mini truck shit, and the nice thing is you're seeing a lot more mini trucks there. I know. I know Pee-wee said he ran into a bunch of guys that dropped and destroyed.
Yeah, Bob Clark and a couple of other people. I don't remember everybody's names, but they were cool. There was
he's like me. We both don't remember names. I
can tell you what your car looks like, but I can't tell you what your name is.
Exactly.
That's how that works.
And that's how it is. And I'm sorry, we're not good with names. And there's some people that we can't pronounce your names. There's a crazy Hawaiian guy that we talked about who.
Yeah, the chopped roof and the truck bed.
We will have him on so he can tell us how to pronounce his name. But I have talked to him and I still don't.
Yeah, he's a very cool guy.
He's a cool dude.
Very cool dude.
But anyway, going back to Camp and Drag. We did have a couple XBs there. We had, like you said, the couple from Houston. We actually sat and talked to them for a while. It was really cool that they bought bag setup somewhere online, put it on the XB, drove it all the way from Houston all the way up to Waveland, Indiana, which if you don't know where the hell that is, most people don't.
No, it's in the middle of nowhere.
It's in the middle of nowhere.
Literally.
So much so that you cannot get a phone signal when you're there. And
it depends who you have. Like, it works, but your internet barely works.
I swear to God, I still did not get good service until I was past Champaign, almost home.
That sounds about right.
But anyway, but yeah, it's way out there. It's like, from us, it's like for you, it's probably 4 hours. It's 3.5 hours.
It took me a solid like 4.5 because, you got to get gas. I had to make a pit stop somewhere. And
we don't need to hear about your pit stops.
Well,
but anyway,
that kind of a pit
but yeah, it's not far. If you're in Indianapolis, there's no reason you shouldn't go. I think it's maybe a half an hour.
If you're in the Midwest, there's no reason not to go.
Yeah,
it's worth it.
It's definitely a good show, and like we said, there's always lots of XBs. I think we had 5 or 6.
Yeah, there was about. I'm pretty sure there was like 4.
Yeah,
but we didn't get to talk to everybody because it rained. That.
And I'm not always the most sociable person. I'll admit that. So if you see me at a show, just come up to me and say, "Hey, I'm so and so."
We don't
because chances are I do know who you are. I'm just like, that motherfucker don't want to talk to me,
right? Who wants to talk to us?
Yeah, fuck that. That's why we did it on video. So now you have no choice. You have to listen to us and whatnot.
Right.
But anyway, we had that couple that was there. We had the second gen from Canada.
Yep.
I can't remember his name. I think I've talked to him once.
I didn't get to talk to him.
I've talked to him several times, and I've followed him on Instagram for fucking years, and I still don't remember his name. I'm sorry, man. Again, it's nothing personal.
Hit us up.
Lunchbox. He's one of these guys another guy that he's somewhat local to us, and then I get to Camp Dragon, I don't even talk to him there because he's always doing his thing, I'm doing mine. He did have a really kick-ass picture that he posted up, a night shot that I'm really jealous of because I wish I could do that with my XB. It was really fucking sick.
Yeah.
And I'll throw that up on my Instagram page if you guys.
His XP is pretty clean.
So yeah, that was cool. What else did we have? We had Heidi, who I haven't seen her around on the boards or anything in a long time. I know she just had a kid.
I didn't talk to her either.
Yeah, I've talked to her several years ago, but that was about it. And then Rich from ATL. If you guys aren't, I know this will kind of go into the lifestyle a little bit. We got Rich from. It's over here. We got there. You go. All time low. This is Rich. His last name's Waterman, I believe. His wife is actually the one that started the magazine. I think it took off even more after he got involved.
Yeah, but they hand in hand do it.
And I know it's not something that's completely XB, but as you can see on here, we've got a Lincoln on the cover. We've got mini trucks, obviously, because it's more or less a mini truck magazine. But if you flip through there, it's everything.
Yeah, it's very out there. It's anything and everything.
We listened to Our Lifestyle, the podcast, and he's ODB cool. On there. He always talks about it. He's actually the one that shot this cover, and he brought it up on there a couple times. He's like, Lincolns don't have a place. Kind of the same way with XBs. What magazine do we get? Yeah, some of the
the import scene doesn't cater heavily to XBs.
No,
I mean,
it did a couple years ago.
It did years ago, but I don't think it does like it did now.
No, So it's something to pick up. The guy's great photos, and the cool thing is they are at there. They'll have Camp and Drag. It'll be out maybe in the next issue or whatnot because this one had a couple shows that were recent on it.
Yeah, he stays pretty up to date.
And that's what's nice about we're big on mini trucking back in the day, and it would take fucking 6 months to almost a year before the coverage would come out.
Coverage comes out.
But if you guys are interested, look up. I think it's atlmag.com or something like that.
Yep.
Thanks, ODB, because you got that drilled in my head.
Got it drilled into my head.
So we got that. You can go over there, look it up. I think a subscription is 4 issues. It's like $50 a year. But keep in mind, it seems a little expensive. But this magazine's really have no ads.
There's like 2 pages of advertisement, and it's like 99% content.
Your first
show coverage,
first issue, you get the cozy that he's got.
Yep.
I think I got stickers every time, and it's a kick-ass magazine. And that's how we're going to help further the lifestyle of things and that by doing that. And this guy, he is an XB owner. He's got a black XB
on Dodes.
On Dodes. Dodes. Everybody's got to be on Dodes.
I'm on Dodes.
I'm on Dodes. Is you guys on Dodes? Anyway, we're not prejudiced. We don't mind the airlift, but
the airlifts do ride nice.
Down low.
The airlifts do ride nice, but
why don't you get into the Dropped and Destroyed a little bit more?
Dropped and Destroyed was a good time. Bob Clark was out there. There was like 3 or 4 other XBs. I don't, like I said, I don't remember names, but if I spotted the car, I'd be like, oh yeah, for sure. But that's a fun show to go to. It's like a 2-day show. It's at a prison. The whole show is at an old state penitentiary.
I missed out on it.
Yeah, you got to go next year.
And
that's a really fun
I was
show.
listening to Our Lifestyle. Dude, they need to sponsor us because...
I know.
Anyway, I was listening to them. They had the guy on that was hosting it, and dude, just hearing about that alone would make me want to go.
You get to tour the prison, and on top of that, that was the prison they used to film Shawshank Redemption.
I never saw it.
What?
I know.
Oh, come on,
I'll put that on the list.
Yeah, you gotta. Put that on your list of movies to
write
watch.
that down. See, it looks like I'm writing, but oh damn, you can't see. There's no paper. All right, continue.
Yeah, we're not very videogenic. What else do we got? What else do we want to talk about?
Websites. Yes, we'll bring up some websites, other stuff, place you get parts, whatnot. First thing we're gonna address, we got to point it at Dode. Dode. I got rando.com stickers all over my house.
On the lawnmower.
On the lawnmower
has a rando.com sticker. And
I got it on the XBs, and there's no rando.com.
You can hit him on Facebook. He's good with Facebook.
What's up with that, Dode? We got people out there that need parts. We're slanging them for you, man. We're selling that shit. Come on. Anyway, you can get them on Facebook, but that was something that we're sitting here talking about. We're
talking about websites. I'm like, does Dode's website even work?
So, yeah.
But you hit him through Facebook, he's easy to get to.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, if you need anything, just go right through Facebook.
Back to gossip.
We're gossiping now?
We're gossiping. We got Brock sold the XB.
Yeah, Brock sold the XB.
The sad thing about it is he does not seem to want one, and I think he's talking about a Mustang, which...
I get it, but...
I don't.
How long has he had that thing for?
I can understand maybe wanting to go fast, but dude, I give him 6 months, and he'll be like, I need an XB.
I don't know.
Brock,
maybe not.
You can give us some input on that. Tell me to shut the fuck up. I don't care. But I'm just...
everyone gets different points, and people take interests on and whatever,
I just don't see the point of selling it. I can't. I don't... Of course,
I don't think anybody would want to buy mine.
You're talking to a guy that has his first car still, so...
Well, mine was the first new car I bought, and then right away, there was supposed to be a daily driver, and that's not how that happened.
That's how it always works, Kevin.
Well, I bought it brand new, and then, a couple years later, Kevin, you should have slide rag top. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Cut that shit.
Yeah.
Speaking of cutting... Oh, as I burp. That's nice. Drink beer on camera to get burps. Oh, yeah, we're all fine. About the class.
It's fine.
Anyway, let's talk about the crazy Hawaiian down there in Texas. And I'm going to say it that way because we are going to have you on, nuts. And you're going to have to tell us how to say your name. And I'm sorry, dude.
I don't know how to
I mean that in the best possible way because you are probably one of the guys I look up to in this. And your shit's nuts. I think you're crazier than I am, to be honest.
Oh, he cut that whole thing apart and made it look easy.
He did.
He really made
in
it look
the garage.
Easy. Oh yeah, we're doing this now. I scooted this back. We're gonna do this and
I can only hope that what I do in the garage comes off like him, because he does make it seem effortless.
Yeah, he does.
And I do really.
It's not.
The guy's doing. I think he's an actor. Because I saw him doing some shit.
I don't know what he does. I don't know a whole lot about him.
And I'll say another thing. He was probably one of the first guys that came to you when I said we were going to do this. And he's like, dude, I got your voiceover, which is cool. So we will hit you up on that, brother. And I do appreciate that. And,
we're working it out.
We got to get to that technology right now. Our technology is the remote mouse and hitting the record on it. And this is the problem because now the mouse is not working.
It's working.
Okay, there it is. Oh shit!
What are you doing?
I don't know.
Oh man. Yeah, we're not we're not used to doing this. So
yeah, but we're gonna get to that point, and we will polish the shit out of this. But no, we don't want to sound like some of those guys on the other podcasts about how it seems like we've got our suit and tie on and we're sitting here drinking.
Oh yeah, well a lot of people have really high end setups. They've got really expensive equipment. We dragged a computer out here and then we hooked a microphone and.
Yeah, and there's no editing right now. It's like
is unabridged.
push record and fucking go.
Yeah, this is unabridged. There's no editing. There's no Photoshop.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that point. Like I said, we don't. We're more or less. I don't want to get it too polished because I want it to seem like it is when you're in the garage. You know, you get that input. You're comfortable. You know, nobody here's got egos. Wait, do I? Don't laugh.
I'm not gonna say nothing.
Yes, it happens, but that's one of the things I want to bring up is the fact that I want to push my limits as well as you guys because when I do stuff in the garage, I get out there and I post these fucking pictures, which I'm sure you guys are all sick of seeing, but I want to show the limits of what can and can't be done, and hopefully push you guys to do it a little bit. And it's good to see, the crazy Hawaiian guy who's over there cutting the shit out of it because when I see that, it just makes me want to do it, and hopefully that's
very motivating.
Hopefully that's what happens to everybody, and we want to take that and bring it to everybody. But then again, I also want to expand my horizons a little bit because I don't know much about the tilty wheel thing. I do, but I don't see.
And it's the import scene. You're pretty disconnected from the import scene in general. I mean, like, yeah, you go to import shows and whatever, but like, I don't think you're not building an import.
No,
you're not going with the import tuner style. You're on a different.
And that's a problematic too because I do go to those shows and you get my car don't fit in anywhere. I go to the import shows, I don't fit in. I go to the mini truck thing, I don't fit in. But it doesn't matter, and it just kind of broaden the horizons or whatnot. So hopefully that works. But kind of, I don't know. I forgot. We got offline. That's why we got this thing here.
We got the script and it's there.
Anyway, we'll go back to some gossip. A local guy here. He's one of our Chi-Town XB guys, Daniel. We got to give him a big shout out. He took a lot of fucking crap from us. Yeah. Giving him a hard time, dude. You got to fucking work on this and clean. And dude fucking comes out. And we're like,
he did. He blew out the interior. He totally did the exterior of it, repainted it.
Done. And you guys have seen
that wasn't a kid either.
Big Purple.
Yeah, Big Purple.
He did the flares, did all that shit, got that done, new interior, everything. It's done, and
blended it all together.
Pisses me off. I just leave mine in the garage now. Fuck it.
And now he's got 4-row bench seat buckets. Well, it's not a bench seat; it's just 4 buckets now.
Yeah, 4 buckets. So he's out there. You've seen it. Whatever.
He posts.
So what else we got? Scion culture. Is it dead?
I don't think so.
I think it is.
I mean, it's tapering off a little bit.
I don't. Obviously, there's nothing. We got no support from.
There's no support when Scion okay, but even before Scion folded, they stopped supporting. Think about when Scion came out. They had the car shows. They would give away the free swag. They would do parking garage stuff, and they stopped doing that in what? 2007, 2008, somewhere in there.
Something like that.
I mean, you were doing it before I was doing it.
I didn't pay attention.
Well,
I was anti-Scion
parts and stuff. People but like everything the dealership gave you was like the fog lights are nice, the wings are nice, but it's like a lot of it was like I don't know.
Well, my thing with it was there was a lot of marketing. They wanted you to be able to
experiment. You
could come out in and buy your Scion, get your wheels, your fog lights, your lighting. You can get all this and go out and go, which is great. It was a great start for people, and I think it did push the limits right off the box, which was a good thing. But I think it did. In my idea is it brought a lot of people into the sport that it normally wouldn't have. And to me, I'm going to sound like a little bit of an asshole this way, but I don't think some of those people should have been here.
I mean,
and that's
I don't know about all that.
That's one-sided. I understand that, and I'm not saying I'm happy with that.
I mean, they took in a funky looking. It's not a key car. It's bigger. It's like the bigger class than that in Japan. Brought it here and said, okay, how do we sell cars to people between the ages of 16 and 25? And that's what they tried to figure out.
Yeah, and that was it. But
that's the original. That's what they tell you. The original premise of it was, but the fact was that everyone who was buying it, the average buyer was like in their mid-30s.
And let me reiterate a little bit on me. I am definitely one-sided on a lot. I got to remember that there are people out there that are not full show,
like normal people.
Yeah, normal people. Yeah. That have a normal life and sit down and watch football or whatnot. But there's those people out there that are like that, and you just want to ride something cool to the grocery store or whatnot, and people that want
And
to be
that's okay, too. I
the
don't
parking
have a
lot
beef with
guys and whatnot. And I get a little one side on it, and that's one of the reasons I want to bring this up is because I need to see that and not be, such an ass when it comes to some of that. But
I mean, you're a little tough on that. I mean,
well, I've been doing.
I mean, there's people who don't get that into it. I mean, you've dedicated your life to.
Well,
this,
and that brings it at me up. I don't see why why everybody wants their cars to look the same. I guess there's a small part of fitting in.
Well, that's the thing. It's like everyone's figured out you can import all this stuff from Japan, which is cool. I mean, I have the JDM, the Embro taillights, but it's like I can't make taillights.
Sure you can.
Okay, well, when you have time,
I got a guy for that.
Oh, we do have a guy for that, don't we?
I do have a guy for that. James Yorko. Hey, I know that guy's name.
I know that guy too.
He does make some kick-ass taillights. And
He made
James,
your taillights, too.
I got to hit you up, James. We got to pull mine out and get some work on them too, because I got another LED out. But
You got another one go out?
I know he's got it.
Dude, that wiring was so intense. I couldn't even deal with it. I'm like, there's way too much wiring.
Dude, did you finish?
Yeah.
Dude, we do not bring another
It's
beer.
getting a little warm in here.
It
was
warm.
nice. It was nice and cool. We left, got beer, came back, and like the temperature has just risen.
It
Not
has.
happy
It
about
happened when we hit the record button.
Yeah, as soon as we hit the record, it just started getting hot in here.
And this was supposed to be the walkthrough, which I think is working out a lot better than I expected.
Yeah, I mean,
think we're
it
gonna
could
run
have
with this.
gone worse.
But anyway, we'll go back.
mean-
James is doing some shit. Obviously, he's new to what he was doing, new to what he did for me, and he's got a good play on what's going on in mine. So he's got it figured out. He's going to fix it, and then he's got some turn signals he's making for me. But going back to the Scion culture thing, there's a lot of that. I think there's a lot of people that were definitely put off by the fact that Scion left, and there are some that left because of that. But
I don't think they left because of that. I think what really did Scion in was pinching off the first generation the way they did. And the only reason they really did that was because of safety laws. Because in 2007, they changed all the laws over and said, your vehicle has to be able to be placed on its roof without collapsing. This is true. You can look it up. And the first gens couldn't do that. They had to have X amount of this and X amount of that. And they couldn't get the first gen to do that. So what do? They just stopped selling it. And I think that did Scion in because there's a lot of people who don't like second gens.
yeah, they're
Bulbous, they're round, they're ugly, they're like a foot and a half longer.
And
I'm faster.
I'm one of those.
Way
I
faster,
was
though.
actually talking to Rando yesterday about it because I had said something about buying another first gen, and he's like, then I said I was looking for a second gen. He's like, ew, why?
Ew. Ew.
But-
You have to love it. You have to love it.
My problem, there's a lot of it I do like. Of course, there's again a lot of it I didn't like about the first gen as well. But
That it's just slow.
That's
That's the only beef I have with the first gen is that it's slow.
yeah.
Other than that, I love the first gens. But like when I bought my car, I wanted a brand new car. I wanted something that wasn't rusted out because every car I owned before that was kind of a piece of crap.
Well, and that's
You know.
kind of why I'm looking at the second gens because I want something new. If I'm going to get another first gen, it's like 2006. That's like 3 years newer than what I got now.
Yeah, and the other stupid part is, so it's like, okay, so I buy this XB, it's going to be like a daily driven car, and right away, that's not how that worked out. So what do? I'm like, I need a daily. Why don't I get a first gen and daily that? Well, I looked at about 8 of them, and every one I looked at, there was something wrong with it, or, it just wasn't something worth daily driving.
Mental note: we need a beer.
Yeah,
cooler
we need
right
a
here.
cooler. We didn't bring a cooler.
Because I drink slow and I'm almost done, and we're only 23 minutes into
Are
this.
we only 23 minutes? This is going a lot faster than I thought.
But
Well, it's a lot slower, actually,
it's.
not faster. But
I know it comes to some of that, and between the first gens and second gens, there's definitely no.
there's no translation. None.
and-
They're two different.
To me,
vehicles.
I started looking at the second gens, and I'm going, I don't like the front bumper, I don't like the back bumper, and then I saw the Voodoo Blue, and the Voodoo,
Oh yeah, you get the extra cladding because like
the Voodoo Blue is the only one I like.
well you had the 2 which had the round and it had the mono reverse light, And I liked it because I rode in one back in 2008. I had a friend who bought one like brand new, and I fell in love with the interior. There it is, that motto reverse.
I actually thought that was kind of cool.
But then you see the 2.5s come out, and they squared it out a little bit, and they changed it up, and then they put better radios in them. And the reason I bought one was because I had always wanted one. Like, before that, I wanted a first gen, and then I saw the second gen. I'm like, I'm going to own one. And then I found out they were going to stop making them, and I went out and bought it like a month later. So.
What the hell were we... Oh, we're talking about culture. And
we were talking about the culture and, like, is it alive or is it dead?
You know, I'll get back to that a little bit. I remember going to some of the Scion shows here locally, and I think even though they had done the show for a while, I think a lot of it had been dead before.
And
I know
people's interest changes too. You know?
True, but I know I went to my first show, Scion show, was out here in Aurora, and it was right when they changed from first gen to second gen XBs and XAs, and they had the show at a warehouse, and when you registered to get in, they gave you a list of parts, and they were like, what do you want? And there was people walking away with fucking wheels.
Oh, wow.
I think I got, let's see, what did I get? The threshold plates, the neon lighting kit, the armrest, and there was something. Oh, no, I didn't get the rear wing. They were like the rear wings. They were giving them away. Like, all you had to do.
Those things are expensive. It's like, what is that, like $200 for one of
those
things?
And you could, there was people walking away with 2 or 3 of them. Like,
dude, that's because Scion was really, like, their marketing department was really, like, pushing it.
But
that, and we're close to a big city. That's the other.
Yeah, but that was it,
Yeah.
And it kind of got me because, I went, and it was my first show. I think I'd had my XB for maybe 2 weeks, and I've already freaking had it dropped on wheels and some stuff done. And I'm rolling in. I think I was rolling in with this club, which I won't mention the name. And I just, a bunch of kids going, we're so big. And I'm like, yeah, well, you guys are all stock.
It's all part of.
And then when we got in there, I was like, I'm going to go over here because I don't want to park behind a bunch of stock TCs. And I know that makes me sound arrogant. But that's how I was
at the fan of TCs in general.
But that's how I was at the time. And
I don't hate them, but I'm not.
It just kind of put a bad taste in my mouth over it because, hey, you're talking about a guy that came from building mini trucks and doing shows like Indie Truck Bash and all these big shows. And it does. You get kind of jaded on it, and it's sad, that I don't see that.
I mean, but it's true. That's the reality of it.
And that's why I want to bring it up to kind of expand on my
you go to a mini truck show, and you see how people they start, shaving door handles. They're relocating license plates. They're going in full paint. They're changing out the interior. They're welding. There's just the level of work is just beyond what a lot of import culture does.
And that'll bring us into our second topic that we wanted to bring up was kind of the aftermarket's parts. There's kind of they make everything for a first gen. They don't make shit for a second gen.
They don't make anything for a second gen.
But I don't really see that. But, how do you get around it? There's ways, I like the name of the podcast or videocast, whatever you want to call it here, outside the box. Think outside the box, think about, I see a lot of people into the whole roof rack thing.
I had a roof rack.
And it's nice to see people asking, hey, what fits? Because
Yakimas. Just buy a Yakima.
No.
What?
You're going to look like everybody else. Now people are going out finding stuff on other cars, which is cool, and I like that. I've never been a big roof rack thing.
Rake did that.
Yeah.
And he won't tell you what it came off of, but that's what he did, and it looks really good.
And that's fine.
It looks so natural.
There's something about people wanting to tell secrets. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't get too bent about it. The only thing that gets me is the taillights. Everybody asks me where I got my taillights. It's like, I'm like, the internet. Seek them out.
Oh, shit, my phone's over here. I thought I put it over there.
Yeah. But it's like everyone wants to know exactly. I'm like, okay, I'll tell you where I got it. It was on eBay through a guy in Australia, and then they got shipped out because we bought like 3 sets of them at a time, and then all of a sudden his name was on a return address from Japan, and they were there like 2 weeks later.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it was very awkward because we're like, okay, I hope this works.
But I totally understand it too. Nobody wants everybody to have the same shit.
No.
Well, I guess, and that that's part of my thing with the whole Scion culture thing is like everybody trying to be the same, and I guess I don't see it too much because I don't want to be that way. But there are those people out there like myself that don't want to give that up, and you can't think the guy's a complete asshole because he's not telling you what he got. He obviously went out and did the homework and figured out that what roof rack would fit, but not everybody's going to want to give that information. It's like the paint codes, man. People will be like, oh, like Daniel, for instance, everybody's all about, dude, I love that purple.
Well, the problem is with paint codes is, you paint a car, you're dumping a lot of time, a lot of money, and somebody wants to go, hey, what's your paint code so they can paint the exact same color? That's kind of...
Then you show up and there's like 3 others that are the same color. It's like, fuck.
I totally understand not giving up paint codes, but other than that, I don't care. I'll tell people.
And the rest of it's the same. But, going back to our topic here between the parts from between first and second gens, I really... What don't they make? Air ride kits they make.
They got air ride kits.
Rear wings they got. Yeah, maybe.
I think it's the body kit things. Like, first gens, there's like a lot. I guess there's a lot of body kits you can get from Japan. There's like, I don't know, there's like 10 of them I can think of.
But really, are body kits in style anymore? No.
You know what? For a while they weren't, but now, okay, I don't know if you've been to an import show recently. I'm seeing more LEDs. I'm seeing more underglow. That's making a comeback. Big wings made a comeback. There was like a point where nobody wanted to rock a big wing. Now everybody's got big wings again.
Dude, they're bringing back the wings that are
full rotation.
They got wings that are fucking Fast and Furious 1 that I've seen.
Oh yeah, no, I mean body kits in the tuner scene. No, everyone wants splitters and canards, but I think
and Rocket Bunny and
yeah, but a true Rocket Bunny isn't a kit. They cut the fenders out. They stretch the fenders out.
Yeah, but there's a lot of those companies now that are making those Rocket Bunny,
those like
lick 'em stick fender flare things.
The jet bunny kits that that are like almost Rocket Bunny, but they're not, because a real Rocket Body kit, from what I understand, is like way expensive.
Well, those are all out of Japan.
They're they're like 10,000 before shipping. Like, that's no joke.
And that's it. And this is my take on it. And it probably the reason why I don't see there a lack of parts for it, because I don't really look into the aftermarket when it comes to my stuff.
I don't see the value.
Most of the time it's like I can go and buy these fender flares, or I can go grab my welder and my cutoff wheel and make it. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that's not.
I mean, a lot of people can't weld.
Yeah, well, there's that. But, and I get that a lot. I get people, I wish I had your skills. Well, you know what? I didn't have them.
I didn't either.
The only reason I got them now is because I said, you know what?
I'm going to do it.
And I'll tell you exactly. This is the point that it was. I'm working on my 87 Toyota truck back in, I'm old. It was a long time ago. I'm not even going to date myself. But it was a long time ago. And I'm like, dude, everybody's shaving door handles. I got to get my door handle shaved. And I went and paid. I think it was $100 each handle. And that was just a primer. That wasn't even to paint.
That doesn't even sound that bad now.
No, it's not. And... but here I am. I'm working at Sport Mart making freaking minimum wage. Going, dude, there goes my whole paycheck on this thing. And I got done, and I was like, I'm gonna learn how to do this. And luckily for me, I found a freaking college, what do I call it, vocational college nearby that actually had classes
tech
for
schools and stuff.
And I built 2 cars going there and learning how to do it. And, this is one of the things I want to bring up is that, in this day and age, you've got YouTube, you've got, podcasts, videocasts, all these other ways.
All the information's there.
You can get on the forum and ask. You can freaking get on there and like instant message rando, which, God, when it came to freaking body drop in mine, it was like, rando, what do you think? And, you can talk to people and find out, I think a lot of people are so worried that they're going to screw something up. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you...
I was afraid of that too.
I'm going to give you the exact piece of advice I was given when I had my 87 toy. I just bought a Radical Tops convertible kit, okay?
Yeah.
And I was like freaked out. And I was talking to my buddy's dad about it. And he goes, you know what? He goes, if you screw it up, there's always somebody out there that can fix it. And after he said that...
That's great.
I was like... You're right. And it sucks. You might, I fucked up this door. We're trying to, shaved this door handle.
The other thing he told me is, I'm like, well, what if we screwed up? Like when we shaved the hatch, and I'm like, what if we screwed this up? You're like, dude, it's just metal. Just we'll we'll fix it.
Right, and here's another example.
I was like afraid of cutting stuff up, and this guy like I don't know he like was like he's like, dude, just relax, it's fine, just do it.
It's just metal.
Whatever, it's just metal. I mean,
what happens? You screw up a gate. But in this world nowadays, it's like making mistakes is freaking the worst thing you could possibly do. And that's part of the reason why I want to do this. No editing, no nothing. So that
very little editing,
we got
just to make it look better.
Everything hanging out there to do this podcast, and if we make mistakes, so what? We make mistakes. I made mistakes on my XB, God forbid, right now. Okay, I'll tell you. One of the main reasons why the XB's not out is because when I did the strut towers, I got them too close. Right now, I got tilty wheels, and nothing against that, guys, but I don't want tilty wheels. So I've got to cut that apart, spread it out a little bit, and go. Now, I got down on myself about this. I'm like, dude, I should have fucking known better. But you know what? How would I have known?
There's no manual. I told him, like, dude, you're doing something nobody else has done. I'm like, you're like pioneering this with only knowledge you have. I mean, you're the first to lay it on rocker. I mean, Dode was like real close.
But even Rando, I'm sure. Did you think he went out, got the freaking air struts out, and freaking welded them up first time was perfect? I don't think so.
He engineered those, and I think they're very well engineered.
They are very well engineered, but that's my point, though. Do you think his first set was perfect?
I can't imagine. I mean,
we all do that. We're all primping up on our shit.
Everything's so polished over. I mean, internet. You take pictures of your trip and you get the perfect shot, and
we got this filter.
You got a flat tire. It's like you don't see the car. Like you see the truck driving down the road, skating, but you don't see the truck broken.
Or I got this filter where I'm flipping through my phone. Hey, look, you don't see that blemish in my fucking fender right here where I fucking slammed it.
Everything looks perfect on camera.
So, but yeah, and that's it. I like to see people that have worked on their own shit, and I think that's something that and I want. Hey, I know there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I want that duckbill on my second gen, and I think my buddy Ross, when I was doing his girlfriend bought him I think it was some wing that was on a second gen that they didn't make for a first gen, believe it or not. And he's like, can we make this work? And I'm like, yeah, we can do it.
You can do anything you want.
Yeah, just get out there and do it. And that's why I don't see a lack of parts, but yeah, I guess maybe if you want this roof rack or whatnot, but you know what? And just figuring it out, maybe go out and find a class near you, go
to a tech school. You could take a welding class for a couple $100.
Shit, you know how we used to do it? This is probably a little bit before my time, but you just go hang out at a body shop. Me,
I don't think it's like
I'll tell you right now. Okay.
I wish it was.
One of the things that, and it flipped me out. I remember I was painting airplanes at the time, and I was like, I got laid off. I think it was the day before I left for Indy Truck Bash, and I was like, holy shit, dude, I got no job. I got limited money, and I'm like, do I go to the show? Well, needless to say, I went to the fucking show, but that's kind of besides the point. I get back, and I had heard about this shop. It was a custom shop. And I was like, I should just roll over there. And you know how it is when you're young and you're like, you don't know a whole lot and whatnot, trying to find a job. I never was comfortable looking for a job. But I roll up to the shop and I'm like, I go in, I'm like, hey, I'm looking for a job. Well, what do you do? I paint. Really? Can you paint this? And he points at the front end of a monster truck. I don't remember which one it was. It was one. And the funny thing is I was just at Indy Truck Bash looking at fake chrome going, I'll never be able to paint that. And here's this guy, he goes, can you paint that? And he's painting it fake chrome. I'm like, sure, why not? So I pick up the airbrush, spent the day doing it, got done. He's like, come back tomorrow. And I worked there for a good 6-7 months. And
there you go.
But, that's it. You could just roll into a body shop and be like, hey, like Pee-wee, okay? I said Pee-wee that time. It's Kevin.
Yeah, it's Kevin.
Yeah, he's one and the same.
It's one or the other.
This guy, I think, what was it, 3 years ago now?
It's been 3 years, yeah.
I'm at this show. I think it was a JDM show in Chicago. some
Yeah,
little
it was a JDM Chicago show.
parking lot thing, and I rolled in. I think it was the first time I pulled out the XB fully body dropped.
Yeah, and you just did the zombie paint.
Yeah, I just did the zombies on it.
Yep.
And I pulled it in there and I aired out, and it was the first time we were meeting for Chi-Town XBs, I think, as well.
Yeah.
And we rolled into that parking lot, and like Kevin's like, dude. And I'm like, yeah, I'll be over there. And, you know, but my point is, you know, Kevin was very limited. I think at the time you weren't even lowered.
I had finished.
I think you had the
I
Koenigs
had just
on.
bought it, and like I was like ready to lower it, but I was like, yeah, that changed the perception of what that vehicle was going to become.
There's a fucking fly. I'm going to kill him.
I know, it's zooming around me too.
But that's it. You know, he was totally new to the thing, and
I had coilovers, a roof rack, and like I don't even remember. It was pretty lame.
And now
Pretty basic looking.
3 years later, mind you, bagged, shaved out gate, full stereo, huge sliding rag top.
Oh God, I love that rag top.
And we fucking get in it and drive to fucking Texas in the middle of fucking February.
No, we cut it out in the middle of like it was the middle of February, and people were like, well, aren't you gonna wait until the spring? I'm like, no, I want to take it to LSD with a sliding rag top. It's gonna be like 80 degrees outside. And we drove it. We cut it, and then like what was it? Like a week and a half later, we left and took it.
But there's my point. You know, 3 years, and all he did was fucking hang out. Dude, don't mind you. This guy right now, he's gonna be he's sleeping on my couch over the weekend on a lot of the time because he's like, let's fucking do shit. And he comes down here, and we'll fucking work on mine.
This guy's an hour and a half south of me.
So we work on mine. We work on his. We're gonna work on this one here now. Right after
out of frame.
Right after we shut this camera off, we got to get this XB ready for paint. So,
get going.
Laura, we're working on it. We're gonna make it happen.
We're working on it. I
promise. We're putting mine off on to get back to this.
Rome was not built in a day.
But anyway, that's my point. You know, you just see local guys. You know, some of these. Even myself, you know, you roll into these shows and you see this guy over on the other side and he's got all these people and everyone's like gawking. Go over and talk to him. Dude, how'd you do this? How'd you do that? Hey, you know.
Most people I find are pretty friendly.
Yeah.
When you talk to these people at
who
shows.
Doesn't want to talk about their cars, you know? But, you know, if you get in there and talk, and I know a lot, I was the same way, you know, especially me, you know, now with the club thing, it's like, you know, I remember being in a little rinky-dink club and like, I don't want to go talk to the guys from RA or any of them. And you find out those guys are all kick ass and they help you get where you're going. But,
there's a lot of.
But you know, that's it. You know, talk to people, ask how they're doing it, and you know, that's how you can get around it. You know, but other than that, you know, if there's something you want, all you have to do is make it work. You know, say you got a wing, okay. Perfect example is Ross's XB. He brought me this wing. He's like, I want to put this on there, and he's like, how can we do it? And I'm like, well, okay, we look at it, it's fiberglass. So what we can do is we can take the factory wing that you've got, we can cut the back end of this off of it, we can graft the two together and make it work. And I know that a lot of that probably goes over a lot of people's head, but you know, when I went to school, I was the same way. We walk in and all you have to learn is how materials work. Okay, if I want these two metal pieces to go together, I know I have to learn how to weld. Okay, so let's learn how to weld. You can either sit in the house watching reruns of the Kardashians or whatever the fuck you want to watch, or go in the garage and actually do something. And that's how I was, you know. People now say, dude, you need to slow the fuck down, which I do. I got a problem. I can't freaking relax much. But
yeah, you don't know when to stop. Good enough is not good enough.
But you know, go out in the garage and do it. You know, make some mistakes because we forget that the only way to learn is to make mistakes, and the only real mistake is if you don't do something and learn from it. But you know, for another example, body drop. I took an XB. And I'd been building mini trucks. I don't even think at the time I did. I finished one body drop. So I had that done. But I was like, dude, what's the difference between that and a unibody? So
what?
I think I was like, I was in the shower one day and I'm like sitting here thinking, because I do a lot of my thinking in the shower. Yeah. As weird as that sounds. And I get in there and I'm thinking and I'm like, I can do this. I just got to do this and this and this. And I get out of the shower. I think I ran over my phone. I pick up it and I send Rando a text. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna body drop this. He goes, do it.
Yeah, he's not one to say no to you suggesting to do anything that wasn't a good idea.
So, I get it out and I started doing it, and I knew my limitations, and obviously on something like that, you don't want to exceed your limitations, but there's always people you can ask. And, I'm not saying that you don't know how to weld, let's go do a body drop, but, you can go out and shave something or whatnot. But, we all get scared of the unknown. And even myself, I overthink a lot of shit. There's been a lot of times where I'm like, dude, I don't want to do this. This is going to suck. And then I get out in the garage and I start, I'm like, dude, I could have done this 3 months ago if I wouldn't have fucking him-hawed about it, And that's my point, Something simple like these, shaving your mirrors on your first gen. Okay, Rando makes the plates.
It's your job to make it pretty.
But yeah, you still have to put it in there. I'm actually going to go and make my own because I want them to look a little different, which is my thing. But,
Yeah.
there's ways of doing it. My strut towers even, I think I started talking about it. I think I again said something to Rando about it. And he just like, dude, let me know if you need anything. And I'm like, okay. So that as soon as he said that, I'm like, well, shit, I totally forgot. He could cut all my shit. So, I went and I actually made this. This was a template for
That's
the
so
tower.
Convenient.
I know, I didn't even plan that. But, I made this template, put it on there, bolted the shocks to it, tacked it all into place. All right, cool, this will work. And then I took it and made a cardboard template of that, sent it to Rando, and he brings it out, or puts it in his computer, sends me a picture, and the next thing I know, like a week later, they're here. And that's it. If you want something, there's ways to do it. Don't get me wrong, it's going to be expensive.
What he did is very, not amateur level, modification.
No, but that's my point. Say,
that's heavy hitting right there. But, shaving door handles isn't bad. When we did the hatch, that was a lot easier than I
for example,
anticipated.
Right, if you get into the mini truck world, you can get on there and buy anything for an S10. You want to shave the taillights on an S10? They've got filler plates. You just get on suicidedoors.com, and then here they show up, and then you make it. You can do that. Or, hey, Rando, I don't know how to fabricate. I want to shave my door handles. I can weld. Can you make me a filler piece?
Does he make filler pieces?
He doesn't, but I'm sure if you said something to him, he could go out there and figure it out.
I think if you gave him a good template,
I think he'll pretty much do whatever.
I think he'll do whatever as long as it's something reasonable.
So, but even if it wasn't him, or you go to the local guy down the street and say something, I like to see the fact that there's a lot more people out there cutting them up.
I'm seeing more and more of that, more people going beyond, or even taking something that they bought and well, I don't like this, so I'm going to change this or that, or repaint this, or,
And that kind of brings us to our last topic of the day too, is where do you get your ideas? I go to shows. I find
a lot of influence at shows.
I got this weird thing where my brain don't shut off. I think I was in at work the other day and I saw something in a brand new Nissan Maxima that was these the trim, and it was metal, but they did the diamonds like everybody's doing in their seats, but it's in the trim of the
molded
car.
into the trim.
And I saw that, and our chapter president Brian has got that in his truck, and I send it to him, and I'm like, dude, and it was an idea. My problem is on that one, I'm racking my brain trying to figure out how do you do it.
We'll figure it out.
But that's another cool thing is to do that and figure out how to expand on your knowledge of it. What I've always told, it's an old Jesse James reference, is
love Jesse James.
Build it to how you want it. Don't do it to your skill level, because you can expand on your skill level. And I think that's a great clue, or a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
I follow that completely. But again, going back to ideas, it's anywhere. Mini truck magazines. One of the things I usually do, and if you were to look at my XB and go, where did you get the influences? Well, shit. There's a lot of mini truck. There's a lot of rat rod, which I don't like the term rat rod. I just call it not finished. But I just look at things. a car going down the street and you see a set of lights that you like. How can I make that work?
Yeah.
For my taillights. I knew what I wanted, and there's like companies out there that were like, AVS, for instance, makes kits like that, but they're more for like putting into your roll pan.
Yeah, and it's like one little strip, and it's not even bright enough that you could really use it as like a taillight. It's
No,
like,
not those ones. You're thinking about the taillight.
Yeah, under the gate,
Yeah,
right?
not that one. But AVS actually makes a kit. They're expensive. It's like $600.
Yeah, no.
But
I
ended up talking to James Yerko, and said something to him about it, and I just said, dude, this is what I want.
Right.
And I said, all I care about is like I want the taillights to do sequential. And he's like, okay. And he shows up like a couple weeks later and like has them. He's like putting them in, and he's like got this freaking bar made and all this other shit. And I'm like, dude.
It was just convenient that he had an XB because like the way it mounts is like you have your glass and then underneath it pops out. It's very cool.
And he freaking made it, throws it in, gets it in, and then he's like, check this out. He does the show mode, and the thing's like doing all kinds of crap, and then
zooming back and forth.
Then I think there was something that he's like, oh, I'm gonna come back and fix it. And he shows up the next time, and he's got, oh, I got a new show mode for you. I'm gonna drop this on you.
New program.
He programs it. I'm just like,
it was very cool.
So that's cool, but it's it. And I'm the type of guy, I don't normally ask for help. That I think between him and Kevin here for making the wood in the back of mine is like probably the two first things that I've actually asked for help. Now, Scotty has helped me with bending the tubes and doing that.
Like if you don't have a tube bender, and
I would have never been able to do that if it wasn't for him influencing me on that. And I got to thank him for that. But, there's ways of doing it. And that's what's nice about car clubs. Me and Kevin here are in a bigger mini truck club, and it's cool to get the influence just by catching vibes from other people. And you get 2 or 3 people together in a garage, and we're all like sitting here fucking drinking beers and dude, you should fucking lay door on that and this and that, and
people are just fueled with like ideas. People
but
like, hey, you should do this or.
Well, shit. I think right now Kevin and we go back and forth about when we body drop his. I think he's on 30s now when we lay body on his
because he keeps getting talked up. I'm like, well, let's do 20s.
As soon as
good. You want to do 20s? Let's do 22s. I'm like, I don't know.
As soon as he agrees that we can put 22s on there, it's no, you need 24s now. But
there's no 24s.
But garage.
No.
What the hell do they call that? Garage tuning or whatever the fuck?
Is that like a fish story? Like
it's kind of the equivalent.
It's like it's when you start. What's the term we're looking for?
It's like my rag top. Okay, I'm sitting there with my buddy Ross, and we're sitting there leaning like this on my car when it's laid out, and I'm like, we're talking, and he goes, if you had a rag top, you wouldn't have to open your doors at the show. And I went, yeah. So. Took me a while to come up with the coin, but I got it and throw it in. And now it's like, everybody, Pee-wee, you need a rag top. Boom!
So he did his, rode in a camper drag bike. This is awesome. We did this one here, which is like a second gen, which is closer to mine. And I'm like, yeah, I got to have it.
And then I had him help me do one on Laura's car.
Yeah, that's the second one.
And we did that one. And after I did mine, Brian from my club's like, dude, I got to have one of them. And then he's got it. And then now Shane's like, I got to have one. And,
everybody's
and I'm going to tell you,
everybody's on it now.
Legacy rag tops, you need to start sending me money.
We're not even getting paid to mention that.
You need to start sending me money.
And I'm going to tell you what, a lot of people, right away, they go, oh, I don't have a garage. I don't have a garage. My car has sat outside since March.
Yeah.
Rain, sleet, snow. Nothing. I've had no problem.
But that's it. Stop making excuses. Instead of making an excuse, make a reason how you can make it happen.
Car covers. There's stuff you can do.
But get back to the subject. As far as getting ideas, they're everywhere. Like I said, driving down the street, you pick up a magazine and you can flip through it, and you pull it up and you're like, dude, okay, can you see this? Here, let me put it.
I haven't even read that one yet.
Look at this.
Oh, dear.
Oh, the camera is over here.
That's been throwing me off
that?
all day.
Okay. Do you think that guy, and this thing's like it's a box body S10 Blazer, and it's the whole thing looks like it's something from Mad Max. That guy probably was sitting there watching Mad Max Fury Road, and he goes, I got this Blazer and I got a shitload of metal sitting around. What can I do? And that's what that's what happened. You know, magazines are good. You know, you can pick up your magazines. You know, a lot of guys get stuck on the same magazines and they're looking at like, you know, the import magazines and you're like, which that's cool if that's your style.
If you read import magazines, a lot of it is like, you know, there's bolt on, and then a lot of it's like performance stuff, but
a lot of it's all the same. You know, you look at a Mazda RX-7 and he's got intake, exhaust.
Well, here's the thing,
header,
though. Here's the thing, though, we forget. We forget the fact that a lot of these things are souped up mechanically.
Yes.
And we're not seeing that. You open an engine bay, go, oh, he's got a turbo, and that looks nice, but it's like, you know, that thing probably runs like, you know, and 8s and 10s and stuff, you know. It's like,
and that's fine, but I'm not, you know, majority of us in the XB world,
we're not fast people. Like,
but that's my point is this, you know, you can pick up the same magazines and it's all the same thing, but if go pick up a hot rod magazine and you're like, dude, like, okay, Bob, for instance, he's got like the freaking huge, like Krager Supreme style.
Wheels. He's got 20-inch Krager. It's not. I don't know if it's is it a Krager?
It's not a Krager, but they look like
it's that style.
But
like,
he put it on there, and he's got flames on it, which make it like a hot rod. And Bob's probably one of the most popular guys.
Ghost flames too, which I didn't know until I met him in person.
Yeah, right. Because I tried to take pictures of them fuckers, and they don't show.
I've tried, and it never works.
But that's it. You know. A lot of you guys, and there's always that part of us that wants to fit in, you know, but you can take it a little further. And that's what I try to talk to these guys. It's like, you know, for me, I don't want to blend in.
I don't think you blend in.
And like, I want people to walk in the show and go, dude, what the fuck is that? That's me.
They do.
And
they do.
And I know that's not everybody's thing, but I also see Pee-wee, and Pee-wee gets aggravated. I'm sorry, Pee-wee. I'm sorry, Kevin.
It's fine. It's all right.
It was inevitable that it was going to happen this way.
Oh, it's already happened.
You know, he parks next to me, and then nobody looks at his car, and it's like...
Yeah, that happens. That's why I'm like...
And I feel bad.
No, you can't feel bad. It's progression. It's like, okay, my car's moved a lot in 3 years, but it's like not done.
But, you know, do you want that? Do you want to look just like, you know... I see a lot of these guys, and there's some nice-looking XBs, and take this, for instance. You're on the XB page, right? And you're on a Box Lifestyle Instagram page. Go on there. They'll have pictures of like 5 XBs in a row, right? Now look at those pictures. When you look at that, there's going to be 1 or 2 that stand out from the crowd. Okay. Now notice that and look at that and go, why do they stand out? Probably because they do something a little bit different from the norm. You know, for the instance, you'll see a lot of everybody that fits in, but then when you get together, it's all like, okay.
I remember the sheeple?
Yes. I got another thing for you, and this is even better, okay? Go buy a freaking bar that has Harleys out front and drive by and look, they're all the same. Okay.
I couldn't tell you the difference between a Harley and a Kawasaki.
But you'll see them, they're all the same. And that's it. You know, yes, it's okay to stand out to fit in, but you also want to stand out a little bit because and that's what drove me. You know, it started me out in the beginning. You know, I bought my mini truck and we're all like, all right, I'm dropped. Okay, cool. And my buddy, he's got this, and then that guy's got that. And I'm like, I got to do that. And you drive and you go off of each other and you keep going. And the next thing you know, you're like, fuck you, dude. I'm body dropped on 37s and I'm laying door.
Yeah, people get it becomes like
it does. There is a limit.
There is, yeah. I mean, sometimes too.
Like, but that's it. You know,
I don't know where I was going with that, but
you have to, you know, think outside the box. Exactly. You know, hey, what can I do to make this happen? What can I do to make this part for this fucking Mazda RX-7 fit on my car? Hey, I got a hood scoop off of a Dodge Ram that's all metal. How can I put this on my hood?
I'm waiting to pry that out of your hands, by the way, whenever you're ready. Whenever you're ready to let that go.
Where are we putting it on?
What do you think? What else are we going to put it on?
The XB?
Yeah, maybe.
What was the thing What was the thing online with all the hood scoops? That was a joke, Kevin. Nobody wants them.
No, but if you did it right,
yes,
maybe.
And that's another point.
Maybe.
You know, I think a lot of the fitting in thing, a lot of fitting in thing is just that they feel like they want to fit in, and you know, we get a lot of these people on these boards that are like, hey, what do I do? Well, you know what? That drives me. That question I think bothers me more than anything. What do I do? or what should I do to my car? Well, I don't know your style, man. Because to me, if it was me, I'd be like, body drop that thing on 27s, fucking drag the shit out of it and whatnot. I know that's not everybody's style,
No,
but
there's a lot of
what are
people
you
that
gonna
don't
do?
agree with
You know,
that,
you
but-
got 30 guys telling you completely different styles. This next guy's like, I would camber that thing 36 degrees. I would put fucking 20-inch wide wheels on it and fucking
I think that
stretch
whole-
the shit out of it.
You know what?
And is that you? No.
I think the whole stance thing is petering out. Going a little off topic. No, I'm serious. Like, I'm just like that whole stance look. I think is
But that's
Taper it
if
off.
that's what you're into, that's what you're into. That's fine.
Yeah.
The
don't have a
off-road
problem with
thing. I don't understand it myself, and I make fun of the guys. I'm like, I'll see the guys post about it.
But
I'm
if
like,
you do it,
I'm like, you better hope they cut the grass so that you can actually drive that 90 horsepower off-road. But hey, if that's your style, that's cool, man. I don't care.
oh, are you talking about people like lifting XBs?
Yeah.
Dude, there must be people doing it because Dode sells the lift kits. They're like
And,
spacers.
hey,
or
dude,
whatever.
it's cool.
He
You know what?
sells a lot of them too.
There's-
It's like, who's buying them?
It's like, dude, if that's your thing, go with it, But, whatever your style is, do it. It doesn't matter. I know there's a lot of guys that post that. There's that one Photoshop picture of a second gen XB that's all rat rotted with no front end and a V8. Do it.
I don't want to do that, but
Where there's a
think
will,
it's
there's a
cool.
way. And, hey, I get messages from people all the time, and I don't mind it. People asking me, how did I do this? What did I do there? How did you do this? I think it's cool that people, can confide in me enough to get that. And I'm the type of guy, I don't know of anybody that I haven't answered, to be honest. And there's some things that I will say, hey, that's not my style, but if that's what you're into, that's cool. But, get a hold of somebody, ask, what do you want? I want to put monster truck tires under this thing. What do I got to do? Go get some fucking, Rockwell axles and
tape measure.
fucking 30 shocks and a fucking V10 out of a fucking
Those
Viper
things. Yeah.
and whatever. Dude, that's cool. Because, we've all been to those cruise nights or those shows where you're like walking by and you see this one car. There's one at every show. There's that one car that's like, dude, what the hell is that guy thinking? But it's so fucking cool.
Oh,
Yeah. But anyway, we made it to an hour, Pee-wee. We made it.
And we made it to an hour.
We made it. Which
All
probably
right.
means it's going to take 3 days for me to upload this bitch. But
We've got that
I live in
Podunk Deluxe internet.
I live in the boonies. But, hey, we are planning to do this more often. We are figuring some shit out. We have talked to some people that want to be here. I know one of the guys I look up to the most is Randode. I've already
Dude, yeah, he's like, his XB stands out in my mind. It's
I
like the
contacted
top
him
5.
about it. I said something about the podcast and this, that, and I told him, hey, we want to do this. We want you to be our first interview. And he's like, when you need me. And I'm like, dude, that's so cool. But then I'm like,
Because Dode is just cool. Like,
wait a minute, dude. I don't even know how to fucking Skype yet. So we'll figure
I
this
don't
out.
think I've ever Skyped before.
I haven't. Dude,
I've FaceTime.
seriously,
on that.
no, like I said, we're doing this because we want to help, push things along, help people out and do whatever we can. We listen to other podcasts and it's all about giving back. And I sitting here daydreaming at work the other day and I'm like, dude, I can do this. I know a lot of people in the XP world that people probably would like to hear more about. God knows, I'm going to tell you right now, one of the first questions I'm going to ask Randode is, how the hell did you get into XPs? And I'd like to hear it. I'm sure.
That should be everybody's first
I'm sure
question.
people want to know how I
Because
got
everybody
into
has
it.
a reason or a story about why they buy that car.
Yeah.
Or like what led them to.
So
Whatever.
we're going to get into that. We want to do other things. If you guys got something that you want brought up, let us know. We do want to do some tech on here. We're trying to figure out how we can do that, and we'll get into some editing and whatnot, and we'll
like,
figure it out.
Questions too of like, just whatever.
I know that we get on here and we ramble a little bit, but we got to make it kind of interesting so that you guys will listen. We don't want to be like, well, if you take out a number 10 deep well socket and put it on your ratchet, you can then turn this, and that will take off the
Yeah, like no.
95% of the bolts in your car.
Because the XVs are put together with 10 mils.
But we want to have fun. Sit back, go get yourself a beer. We are gonna have more next time for this.
Yeah, we
I'd
ran
probably
out.
get
I
a
don't
little
know
more
why.
interesting when we
cooler.
do that. But get a beer, sit back, turn on the TV in the garage, and
Yep.
do it. I put us on in the background and work, because I'll tell you right now, if it wasn't for Surface DVD with Randoed in it,
I have a copy.
I would not be here, because I would have done it, dude. I used to sit in my truck and go, someday I'm going to be as low as Randoed. And I sat here in my stock XB. What did I do? Put LEDs in the heater lights and all that shit.
Oh, and the vents.
And did all that.
That was a
crap.
hot look.
And did all that. And then
Maybe
I'm
you
like,
could do some more because that's back in style now.
I don't even have heater lights anymore. Or heater. I don't even have a
I
heater.
don't even have, there's not even a heater core in your car anymore.
But, that's it. And I'm sure you guys want to hear it, because I listen to the podcast, and it's nice to hear that shit. And it keeps you, maybe, put this on in your cubicle at work or whatever and fucking do whatever. But sit
You
down
can
with
meditate
us,
to it. You can
drink a beer, and let's talk some crap about some XBs and cutting shit up and fucking tilting some wheels and
doing whatever.
fucking putting wheel
We can talk about
spacers
whatever.
on it.
It's our podcast. We can do whatever. Talk about whatever we want.
Fucking painting shit purple, Daniel. And
That
whatnot.
color is a really pretty color.
So, guys, I thank you, and you're gonna watch me fumble to try to find.
Put your plug in.
I'm gonna try to find the mouse here in a minute. But Kevin, tell us where you can find us.
I am on Instagram at boxcar_badger.
And you can follow me as Sir Lord Oz on the gram as well. Hey, look, I'm trying to be trendy.
On the gram?
Like my
On the
daughter, I'm
gram?
trendy.
Oh, do I?
But yeah, look us up. If you find me on Facebook, guys, I'm sorry. I try to keep that as just friends and whatnot, because otherwise it gets out of hand.
Facebook is like the Wild West. I'm like, dude, if you want to get to me, hit me up on the gram.
Hit us up on the gram. I'll throw pictures up too. We'll talk about some of the guys that were there. I'll throw some shit up there.
I gotta post some more, but
we'll get some stuff up
I
there
am
to kind of
active
add to
on
this.
it, so.
Obviously it's kind of hard to go, here's this when we the camera's over there, but
I'm so thrown off by that. We'll figure that out.
and
next time.
what's
We'll get better.
screwing us up the most is Kevin is not over here. He's over
Yeah,
here.
I'm here. Well, I'm okay. I'm really supposed to be on this side of the camera.
What's really messed up to us is everything's
correct.
backwards, but all this shit reads right. How the hell does that happen?
I don't know. There's
The
probably
magic-
somebody who could give us a really simple
The magic of the
explanation.
internet. Anyway, guys, it's good to see you. Let us know you're out there, because if there's no interest, we're just gonna work on cars. And
Yeah,
do
as
this
much as
without
I
the
love
camera on.
Podcasting, like we're not podcasting.
No.
We're
no. And if you
hoping-
guys got anything else to add to us, let us know. If you
if you got input or stuff to talk about, I'm.
Well, not only that, we don't know how to do any of this. We don't know about video editing. If you can edit or anything, let us know. I know the crazy Hawaiian said he's going to do our voiceover and whatnot when we get to that.
Yeah,
so,
thank goodness, because we're
and that was awesome. That was within the first hour of us talking about this. So it's cool to have that, and I want to bring that. Guys, if you want to want us to shout out about a product, let us know. We'll talk about it. We're up for sponsors and whatnot. You could buy our beer. That would be cool. And
that or buy us microphones too.
hey, we got this really good microphone. Maybe we can.
I wonder how it sounded okay when we were testing.
I hope it's good, but Kevin needs one, because we
Yeah.
don't both want to be over here
I'd like to have a table of some sort, and you can,
we got to get a bigger house.
we
Bigger
need a
garage. But anyway, guys, thank you. We're going to shut this
Thank
thing
you.
off, and we're going to continue to talk for about 3 hours. So.